Right now I am over here at my iron farm. I know I haven't shown it in video for a little while, I think since I built it, but it's been running in the background, and I was over here today thinking about it because today I'm going to build another farm. Today I'm going to build a farm that I've never actually built before. I want to build a moss farm. And I know it's been in the game, moss has been in the game for like 5 years now, but I've still never built a moss farm. But we really need the moss for a lot of terraforming that I want to do. I've kind of been building a lot of things, but not really connecting the terraforming. There's still a lot of just plain land here, and I really need more moss for it. So I've picked out this area over here by the river that we made last episode, where I'm going to build the moss farm. And I'm super excited to show you guys not the farm I've designed, because I've just chosen a basic farm to do, but the building around it. I really like what I've come up with. So welcome back to another Minecraft episode. My name is Tizon. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get working on this moss farm, I'm going to show you guys a clip I recorded earlier in creative mode while I was designing this build, just for some context before I build the actual building. And while you guys are watching that, I'm going to get started on this moss farm. So over here in the creative copy of our world, I have designed the build for today, sort of, but not really. So I've created this stone house, but now I need to destroy it. Basically, my idea is I want this building to be kind of broken down, ruined in a lot of ways, overgrown completely by moss to kind of fit with our moss farm theme. But before you can ruin something, you have to know what it looked like before it was ruined. So that's what I've been doing here with this design. Creating this house, creating it as it would have looked when it was brand new, perfectly built. So that's why I want to show it to you guys first. I'm going to go through and ruin this, kind of destroy it, overgrow it with moss. Definitely let this yard out here be overgrown completely. This wall be broken down, covered with moss. So it'll be quite the transformation, but you'll see that once I've built it in survival. But I just wanted to show you real quick what it looked like before I destroyed it. Alright, I've just finished building the moss farm. I haven't turned it on yet. Let's turn it on for a test run. There we go. It should be self-sustaining and everything. I got this design on YouTube. The channel name was Basic Redstone. I'll try to link it down in the description if I remember. But yeah, it seems like a very simple moss farm, and I especially wanted to go with a tutorial since I've never built one before. And honestly, I used to do some redstone years ago, but so much has changed with redstone. There's so many new farms nowadays. For some things I don't know where to start, so it's great to have some tutorials. So yeah, this is already producing moss, and this should... I killed a pig earlier, don't mind that. But this should be definitely enough moss to cover any of our needs for the future. And then I can just turn it off so it's not running all the time. But yeah, it's super cool. But for now, I'm gonna jump right into building this structure. At this point, you've already seen the other clip where I showed the house, but now I'm going to build it in its very ruined, destroyed state. I've gathered all the materials here already, so I'm ready to build it. Alright, here it is, the house in its ruined state. I really like overall how it turned out. I did use a reference image for the main shape of the house, basically from here to here. I added on these other extensions myself. but I saw a picture with the main shape of the house, and then yeah, I just started with, once I had built the house, I started with just destroying this big hole in the middle of the house. Then using a lot of these, using tuff, coral and stuff in the areas near where it was broken to show the cracks and stuff. Then I added some of these areas more of weathered stone where it kind of turned to a light gray, brownish. So you can see there, just patches of that weathered stone. And then I covered it with moss and then did the transition from moss, azalea leaves, mossy cobble, and then moss stone bricks. And then I smashed a lot of the windows because I had the bamboo fences as the windows. A lot of the windows you see are broken. There's a crack right here in the side of the house. More of that weathered stone. Some glow lichen on it. And I think it fits my moss farm. This front door here is not functional at all because of the blocks needed for the farm, so I just have it there to kind of cover stuff up. How I would actually get in is either through this window that's broken or this door back here is how I'd get in. And then in here we still have our moss farm. There's a lot of skylights coming through with these with the floors I have above. I added a lot of holes just to show the wood is definitely rotting and falling apart. But yeah, we got our moss farm and a cool building to put it in. I really pleased with it. And then I added some tall grass on the outside just to show the overgrowth. And then I really like the view of it as you come from this wheat field around this tree to the river. It just, you cannot see it at all until you come here and it starts to reveal itself. And then you come around this corner around the tree and then you can see it. And framed right there with the bridge, this path and the tree, I think it looks really cool. It did look pretty good when it was in the creative test world where I had built the unruined version of this. It did look very nice from this angle too, so it's kind of a shame we had to destroy the house. I liked the house design, but it was for the moss farm, so we had to break it down, destroy it, ruin it. So I'm gonna spend some time here with some more landscaping, some more overgrowth, and also connecting this path all the way up to here. And I also want to build a wall or a fence around this ruined house, kind of just filling in more of the context, more of the area around it. So I'm going to be working on that. There we go, I've got the path connected up to it, and I really like what I did with the wall. Very mossy and then broken down. The tuff really works well as a transition just from the tuff to the cobblestone, and this is like a more cracked cobblestone is how I see it. Like near where the wall is broken down, I put more tuff and then added in mossy patches. I think it looks very nice. There's a lot of different areas you can walk through the wall just because it's broken down. And then I really added a lot of really tall grass to make it look very overgrown, abandoned. Even these twisting vines I think work as some of those overgrown plants. Even though they're not the perfect green color for the overworld, I think they still work. And then I like these lantern style I did for over here with the anvil. I had to make a tree in this episode of some sort. I feel like I have been making it some kind of tree almost every episode for quite a while, but I have been enjoying it. So this is just gonna be a dead tree for this area. It's kind of in the style of that pine tree up there, but obviously without any leaves, so it's just a dead one. But I quite like how this area is turning out. But there's one last detail or thing I want to build and work on right here today. And that is, I was thinking as we come along this path on either side as we lead up to here, there could be a pumpkin patch. Basically as if maybe whoever lived here before was a pumpkin farmer. So a pumpkin patch that would probably be overgrown as well because it hasn't really been tended to. It's kind of gotten out of control. But I would like it in some way to be functional for me to grab pumpkins if I need them. Later on I would make an automatic pumpkin farm, but we'll see how that works out. I haven't really put much thought into it yet. I'm just gonna try it out now. So let's see how that goes. Well, we did it. We made the pumpkin patch, and overall, I'm so happy with it. So let's kind of look through it. I have these little entrances into these pumpkin patches here. So I just kind of place the pumpkins randomly. Every pumpkin here has a pumpkin stem next to it. If these look a little different, it's because I have a texture pack that just makes melon and pumpkin stems look different. I like that just to differentiate, so that's why they're orange. But every pumpkin has a stem next to it, so in theory I could use this as an actual pumpkin farm. Not super efficient or nice, but I don't need that many pumpkins. I haven't really used them yet in my world, except for this. These stems will probably grow the pumpkins in different places, but that's okay overall. But I looked at some pictures of pumpkin patches and pumpkin plants in real life, and they do kind of have these big type of leaves, so drip leaf works perfect as like the leaves for the pumpkin plant. I mixed in some small drip leaf plants and then some taller of the regular drip leaf, just again to show kind of the overgrowth of these plants. Like they haven't really been tended to or maintained and a little out of control. Same thing with these bushes and leaves going over the side of the fence. They're kind of a little bit overgrown. We've got grass overgrown everywhere. It hasn't been maintained. So I like adding these two tall flowers with leaves. I think it just makes really cool flowering bushes. I did that there and down here with these lilacs. But yeah, overall, very pleased. Let me know what you guys think of it, or if you have any suggestions or ways you think it could be improved. But that will be it for our building today. But I wanted to address one other thing, one other problem I have, and maybe test out a few solutions. Storage in Minecraft. I really dislike sorting stuff, putting it away in the chest manually. I don't enjoy it at all. And what I tend to do when I'm doing these projects, doing these builds, I load up shulker boxes with the materials I need, take it and build it. But then I've been bringing back the shulker boxes here and not emptying them. So we've got a bunch of full shulker boxes with stuff that I don't really want to put away. And in my inventory, there's more. These are just shulker boxes of materials from this episode and the last episode. So it's kind of getting out of hand. So I do want to involve the copper golems in some way in my storage system. I have a few ideas. Alright, to test this out, I've come to the nether roof where I have some of my portals, because that is where I plan to build my storage system. And that is for two reasons. One, from what I found in prior experiences, that storage systems tend to lag your game quite a bit with all the hoppers and chests that it usually involves. So if I have it in the nether, it's not going to lag my overworld. That is one reason. But another reason is that if you think about it, your storage system is something you want to be able to get to as quick as possible, even from multiple different points. And what better way to do that than through the nether? Because I could have several different nether portals throughout my world, and then I just go through the nether, it leads to the nether roof, and then it's not very far to the storage system, rather than having to travel around the overworld further to get to your storage system. So I think that might work out well. I'll probably still build a building in the overworld for my storage system, but then just have the nether portal inside and go to my storage system that way. That is what I'm thinking. We will see how that works. So right now, I brought some materials to do some testing with the copper golem. So I'm gonna set up some stuff with that real quick, and then I'll show you if it works or not. So here is a rough part of my idea. I just set this up as kind of a test. I have these two separate rooms where I could put copper golems in. They would not be able to pathfind to the other. And also, let me preface and say, I have not looked up any copper golem storage rooms, really. I want to see if I can come up with something on my own. If I don't find something that works, I may look at some other tutorials and videos, but we'll see. But my thought is that these two chests kind of represent categories. So I could have one copper golem higher up from these rooms that just goes through and puts items through a line of chests with broad categories. So this one would be like all plants. So it would have a bunch of items in here to kind of filter out all the plants. But I'd want it further sorted than that. So as it goes through these categories, then once it puts the items in there, it would go down to another room where there'd be another copper golem who would sort it into like individual item chests. And basically each room in my storage room would be for a different category or type of item. So like this would be like, say, stone items. This would be like plants. So it'd be two levels of organization. The copper golems just broadly categorizing it, and then another set of copper golems sorting each type of item in individual chests. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But this test is to see, from my understanding, copper golems, I think, still do this maybe. That's what this test is for. If the copper golem's AI is thrown off by other chests being nearby, even if they can't get to them. I feel like it shouldn't work that way. I realized I need this stone wall one higher. I feel like it shouldn't work that way, that if it is closed off and there's no way they could ever pathfind to it, like there's no path, even if it's within their range, they should just ignore those chests and sort the ones that they can pathfind to and not worry about anything else. But I think it still may not work that way. But I just want to test it for myself and see if there's any work around that. Time to get the copper golems in there. I'll probably just go with one to start with. So that guy, we just have one. He opened the chest. He's going down this line here. He seems to be doing okay. Let's put the other one on this side. So they should only interact or really be influenced by the chests on their side. They seem to be doing pretty well. They don't seem to be running into any issues. Yeah, and I had all these chests set up with at least one of each of these items, so each of these items do have a place. But it does seem to be working. I thought there was an issue with them pathfinding to chests they couldn't reach, but maybe they fixed it, or maybe I was just completely wrong. But I think this concept could work. So basically, however many categories we want to have, each category could have 10 double chests, which I think for a single category would be probably enough. For bulk storage, we could probably have a different section that the copper golems don't sort, like a bunch of dirt, stone, deep slate, like that stuff. I don't think I need them to sort, but all the little items would be really helpful, or the variants of certain stone types and stuff would be really helpful for them to sort. That way I don't have to worry about it after every project that I do. So looks like this could work. So if this is working right now, I might try to design my own storage system next episode. Well, it looks like we're recording this segment in the rain. Well, it's the time for the comment of the day, and this one says, The small rivers I know have lots of bushes at the shore, and that includes the parts that are sometimes below water. I thought this was a really good comment and feedback on the river we made this last episode. So I had the area where the water level would go up to when it rises, if the river is more overflowed by rain. And this area I left without any bushes or plants, except these firefly bushes. But I think this is a good idea, a good suggestion. I've been open to ways to improve this. And a lot of you suggested to keep these water plants as well in the water, and I think I will, but maybe just extend them more later on. But yeah, I think I will add some bushes here on the shoreline that is not covered with water, with maybe some actual the bushes as well as some leaves. So I think that will be good, but I'm really loving how the river's coming together, how this area over here that will lead to the forest is coming together. I think it adds a lot of atmosphere, especially with the rain right now. But that will do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and appreciate all the feedback and kind words that you guys have had for the different builds I've made in the other episodes, and I'm looking forward to making a lot more. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!